Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's your boy Worm. On today's podcast, we got Annferknee. You know him, you love him. We talk Halo and much, much more. Roll the tape, guys. Roll it.
I wanted to do that because I was like, I'm serious about this. I want a PC. It needs to be legit. I want the alerts. I want everything.
Like two times.
Yeah.
The last time we played together, I was drunk as hell, and I think you were laughing at me more than freaking paying attention to the game and all that stuff because I was acting so stupid.
I want to be a certified Twitch partner on Twitch, obviously. That's like my biggest thing. And I want to be a part of HCS Grassroots. There's something specifically within Halo.
Joking, you know
Maybe
that.
if I trim a little bit more. Baby face again.
Yo, get a good beard like I do, you know?
Oh, God.
Corny ass freaking skit that you did a while back ago.
Which one?
With Jen.
The Annferknee show?
Yeah, with Jen and Persecute.
Yeah.
That was probably the corniest freaking skit I've ever seen. He was like, man, give Xbox a try. And the first time I seen the controller set up for it, you know what I'm saying? The controller set up for it. I'm like, why are the thumbsticks like this? Why are they not down here?
Yeah.
You know, and all that stuff. All right, welcome everyone. Today we have the amazing Annferknee today, okay? This guy, man, I've known for a long time. We've been in each other's chats many a times, and I like to consider him a pretty decent friend and all that stuff. No, we haven't really talked that much lately, but he's a great freaking Halo player, definitely up and coming. Dude freaking, you know, has grown in his skills so fast it's not even funny, okay? But with no further ado, hey Annferknee, thanks for coming on the podcast. How you doing today, man?
Doing pretty good. Had some Subway earlier, so got some fresh air out, so I'm chilling, dude. I'm chilling.
Yeah. Gotta love
but then you have me though, dude.
Yeah, gotta love that Subway, man. Freaking, I think I probably eat Subway like 2 times a week, probably, at least.
I used to eat it way more often than I have been doing now, but I've been getting so sick of McDonald's recently that I just really wanted something new. Plus, I wanted to go out, so Subway was basically the next best option for me. And because I always get like hella things on my Subway sandwich. Like I tweeted out pictures of it before, but it's just like it's too many things, but it's all really good in the end. So
I cannot do McDonald's anymore at all. I mean,
it's good stuff, dude.
Yeah, but like, you know, like about the only thing that I like eat that I would consider like fast food, because I mean, I guess in a way Subway is fast food in a way, but I consider it a little bit of the more healthier side of things. But about the only other thing I do is like Taco Bell, right? But I pay for it the next day because I'm one of those guys,
man.
I'm one of those guys that puts like a half of those little fire sauce bags.
Yeah.
Like I put like a half of them in one freaking bite. So like I go through like 30 packs of those things. So you know, my mouth is burning by the time I'm done. You know, it's burning on the way out too. You know,
I'm the same way with Popeyes. Every bite I'll like put the Louisiana hot sauce into the Popeyes chicken sandwich. I do the exact same thing, and I'm just like, it's really good, man. It's really good, but it does get taxing on my stomach after a while.
Yeah,
I think Taco Bell upsets my stomach more than Popeyes at this point. For whatever reason. So.
Well, it's funny though, because like every time that I go to like the drive-through for Taco Bell, I'm like, hey, give me a nice amount.
Yeah. I think they ask you sometimes too, like, how many do you want? And sometimes I'm just like, I don't know, like, give me like 5 or 10, I guess. I don't know.
Well, what it is for me, they'll give me only 5, right? They'll only give me 5. I'm like, no, I want like a nice handful. Like, grab a nice handful. Use your hands, grab a nice handful, and throw it in there, right?
Yeah.
No. So like, it happened to me last week. So you know, now that the dining room's open, I pulled around, freaking opened up the freaking door, went right in there, and it was like, and one of the people in there freaking see me, right? And freaking, I went like this, threw it right in my freaking to-go bag, looking at them and all that stuff, and I was like, this is freaking how much you're supposed to give me, you know? But you know, I think it all depends on like who's handling the window.
To each their own probably, and what they think is what is a lot to one person may not be a lot to another. So that kind of whole thing would come into play, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Hey, so when did you start streaming?
Oh boy. What a
When did you
question.
start streaming?
Yeah, so I started streaming in it was like December, maybe like 15th of 2019 or 2016. Just because I remember it specifically because I think it was like I got my Xbox One in December 2015, and then I played Halo 5 for about a year straight. And then it wasn't until like basically a year later I was like, oh, I'll start streaming. And I always wanted to stream, but I was one of those guys that wanted to wait till I actually had a PC. See, I had a grand scheme of wanting to get a PC and my first stream ever do a 24-hour stream.
Oh,
Well,
gee,
obviously without
no,
anybody
no,
just
no.
hearing of me. Yes. I wanted to do that because I was like, I'm serious about this. I want a PC. It needs to be legit. I want the alerts. I want everything. But obviously, it just didn't work out in that way because I realized I was like, well, basically, if I do it off my Xbox One, or if I want to get a PC, I got to spend all this money, get X, Y, and Z. I don't know anything about. And obviously, like at that time, nobody really heard of me in the Halo community. So it was just going to be like, when I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I'll just do it off the Xbox One and I'll just go from there. So I started in like December like 15th, that week of my birthday, whatever it was, like 2016, and then did it for about almost a year straight. Took like all of 2018 off except for like when Red Dead 2 came out, and then
Yeah, Red Dead
in
2 is pretty good.
2019.
Red Dead was it's
Yeah,
pretty good.
Red Dead 2 is a great game. I can
Oh,
go on about that. My friends and I have played online. We got some fun stories
I
with that.
got I
But
got some
that's a
funny
great game.
clips of like an ex girlfriend or whatever would always throw me in the freaking river to drown me
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. We've done stuff like that before, and it never gets old. It's always fun. I've been on and off with streaming, and even back then when I streamed, I was consistent with it, but I did do it off the Xbox One. And Halo 5 was definitely more popular back then, like obviously when the game was in its prime with comp. I didn't really use a face cam because I was super insecure on like everything, so I just didn't want to use a face cam. So I didn't do like the best job of like trying to like either network with people or do stuff I'm doing now, you could say, that I've been doing now to like really get my stuff out there and all that. And I was okay at the game back then, but I wasn't as like nasty as I am now, where I'm definitely just trying to learn as much as possible with Halo 5 to become a better player. But I've been consistent with streaming ever since definitely September 2019. I kind of just I don't know. I like literally went on Twitch one day, and then there's like some Halo 3 tournament going on. I think it was like maybe St. Louis or something. And then a whole year I was kind of just going through like just all these emotions and freaking all this other stuff going on. And then I was trying to do a band and all this stuff, and I was playing here and there, but I was kind of just working a bunch and working out too. And but it wasn't until like September 2019 I kind of just like saw a Halo 3 tournament again, and I was like, dude, I kind of miss doing this. And I was
Right?
like,
Yeah.
I always wanted to do something with streaming because I knew I could totally do it. You know what I mean? There's no reason for me not to do it. I don't know, something just kind of clicked in me, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take this more serious this time and actually get a PC and use a face cam, which obviously doesn't mean you're not taking streaming serious, but just try to put myself more out there in ways that I'm not really used
Well, I
to.
mean,
So
having a face cam on for streaming does help a little bit more for with growth and all that stuff because there's a
yeah,
lot of people that really want to see the person that's behind the screen and all that stuff. You know, like that's going to help and all that stuff and all. I mean, you do need to work on that face a little bit more, but it'll be okay. I'm just joking, you know
maybe
that.
if I trim a little bit more, go baby face again, go
Get
baby
a good
face.
beard like I do, you
Oh
know.
god, I think I'm more facial hair than you, man. What are you talking about?
Oh, I don't know about that. I'd shave it down a little bit. No, I'm just
Oh
joking.
man.
Uh, no, but
But
yeah, I mean, yeah, because I think it wasn't probably not too much longer after that we ended up meeting or whatever, right? Because I think
yeah, I don't. It
it
may have been like
was
it was at some point in 2020, I
December.
think. Oh, we probably crossed paths in someone's stream at that point.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's
Well,
what
yeah,
it
it's probably
was.
Gen stream to be honest. Most likely, I didn't really hang
No,
on a lot of
no,
streams.
maybe. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know.
It
I don't
doesn't
know.
matter. It
That
doesn't matter. That's long.
2019.
That's so long ago, though.
Yeah, I know. When I think about December or like September of 2019 to like December and like early 2020, it's like it always like I don't really remember like who was even streaming that much back then or like because things are different now with Infinite coming out this year, so I know more pros are streaming. So I definitely am more familiar with the same faces you're always seeing on Twitch like every day, like Sam,
Right.
Frosty, myself, Jan, etc., etc. And so it's definitely a different crowd though. How it was between now and even September 2019. And I think another reason why I liked playing Halo 5 2 and streaming it again was that I knew I was good at it because I'm the best Halo, but then also room for growth was more so there now than back then when everyone, like all the pros were always streaming it and a
Right.
lot more
Right.
people were streaming it. So definitely there was more room for growth for me where I was like, okay, it's not completely as saturated as it was back then where there's actually a chance for me to like try to meet more people and You know,
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you on that because
more of a
it's
chance there to kind of do something with stream and put yourself out there as opposed to just like a lot of other people streaming, like pros and all this other stuff.
well.
And if
The
it's gonna
thing
be like,
is the community was so large and all that stuff and all.
yeah, yeah,
It's hard for somebody new to the scene and all that stuff to really get seen, and that's with any game because it's like with me when I first started streaming playing PUBG and all that stuff,
and
and
that's just oversaturated.
that was like, and this was back when it first started, and that was just absolutely freaking crazy. And it's really hard unless you're putting out the YouTubes, you're putting out,
Yeah, you're like really
now
good.
the TikToks and be really good and all that stuff and all. And I consider myself average gamer, that kind of deal. Sometimes I do some high IQ plays, but they're rare and far in between compared to your ass. But
I try, man. I try.
I
Matchmaking is
know you
hard.
do good, man. Like you really improved from what I've noticed a lot over the last year and all that stuff, and it's really good and I know you've said it, and many others have said it. Like if I just stop drinking or as much at least, then I'd probably get out of freaking plat finally.
I think you would. I think you would. Or what I always tell people too that are like trying to, because people definitely ask me like, how do you get out of a certain rank or how do you get better at this and that. And I usually tell them just things that I've heard pros say basically, and stuff I've definitely done to apply myself to become a better player. But honestly, sometimes it comes down to just playing with somebody. Like playing with
Yep,
somebody you actually like to play with, maybe similar skill, maybe a
learning
little bit better, and you
learning
can
new
kind of just have
things.
someone to work with. Yeah, have someone to work with basically in terms of like, at least you can call out somebody and you guys can just learn together basically. So that's kind
Yep.
of like a buddy system is actually key, even like just for gaming or even streaming in general. Having like a group stream thing and all that. So
Yeah, it's like
um,
a lot of the good stuff that I've learned or whatever I learned through like playing with Pixel Pete, playing with Anthony Ellis, and a few other people and all. They've actually taught me a lot of things, and there's a lot of things that I need to practice on, like jumps. Like you've got your jumps over the last year have gotten so clean.
learning how to
Like
spring jump was huge for me, to be honest.
right,
That was
right,
the
and
biggest thing,
that's
learning
the
how to
one
spring
thing I
jump.
can't freaking figure out for to
Yeah,
save my
it took me a
life.
while to figure that out. I watched a bunch of Shyway videos on YouTube, and then
Right,
freaking Barry Bards showed me in a
cards.
custom game
Yep,
one time. He showed me how to do it without scoreboard, I believe, and ever since then I've been doing without scoreboard. But with scoreboard is definitely more consistent. But I'm doing it without sometimes just because it's just you're able to do more. Like you feel more free without it. But
yep,
it's hard. It's definitely harder though. You gotta be more consistent with it. So,
yep. I agree with
but
you. I
no,
definitely agree with you. So that kind of almost covered the next question, which was going to be, what do you think helped get you better at Halo? Pretty much just playing with other people is what you're saying,
I mean
and
that
being
and
consistent.
like yeah, no, being consistent and honestly, dude, like back then, like in 2016, when I was playing when I got Halo 5 in January of 2016, I started just playing like a bunch. Like I always wanted to play. Every time I go to work, I just would always be just wanting to play. I was like, I don't want to work. I don't want to work. I just want to play. But
Yeah,
even then, something I used to always do also was just watching a lot of pros, dude. Like I remember this is way back then. It was a throwback. I used to work at like 6 in the morning, but I wake up at like 4:30 in the morning back then and take the bus and do all this shenanigans I didn't want to do. But I would still be on my phone on Twitch watching like Lifestyle, or there's a guy named like Aftermath too. I'd watch sometimes. He do like free for all. So like those late night grinders I'd always see. So I'd always just be watching. I'd always be watching gameplay, whether it's like on my way to work, sometimes on my lunch. And then when I come home, I'll like be playing Halo 5 while watching like Campy do free for all on my phone. I didn't get a PC until literally like 2020. I've been living here for like 5 years. So I didn't get a PC till last year. So I'd always just be watching Halo, watching the pros play, just watching and playing.
yeah.
But for
I'm.
me, that's definitely huge just to see like the game played at a high level and trying to like replicate that and understand why they're doing that. Or I think first it just comes down to understanding why they're doing what they're doing, like pros and all that, or really good players, how you want to explain it, and then just trying to like do your best to like actually execute in the match,
Yeah, I
even if it's just
mean,
matchmaking.
I definitely agree with you on that. Though for me, like I've creeped in because most of the time, when you're just trying to watch to learn or whatever, you don't really chat that much or whatever
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff. You're just paying attention and all. But I've creeped in a few different streams and all that stuff. But for me, uh, for me, and maybe it's because of the more casual side of me, I get a little bored with watching like pro matches other than watching them like do the moves that they do to kind of mimic that and all that stuff, right? I get kind of bored because it's just straight call outs and that kind of deal the whole time. There's no like interaction with the chat at all and that kind of deal and all, which I completely understand. It's nothing to fault anybody or anything like that, but that's me being as a casual person that plays, but has like that competitive side to him that wants to get better and all that stuff. That's the reason why, like, you'll see me, hanging out more in like your streams, Jen streams, and Pixel Pete, and a bunch of other people's streams and all that stuff. Because to me, it's more entertaining to me and all. Now I'll go and if I'm like, hey, I want to freaking try to figure out this jump. I want to figure out this whole thing. I know this person does this a lot. Let me freaking creep in this person's freaking stream and kind of figure out how they're doing that. Or I'll go on YouTube and watch some YouTube stuff like Shy Away and all that stuff and all. And I'll watch that stuff and I'll try to do like some offline freaking jumps because y'all don't want to see me streaming it. It looks like shit. But freaking, I'll try to do it and all that stuff. Because I always want to get a little bit better and all. It's just with me, I don't have a whole lot of time, because I don't see how you have you got like a full-time job and all that stuff, and you're doing all this, you're putting out freaking YouTubes and all that stuff, and
Twitter videos and edits and all that. While trying to stream
and all
thousands of hours every week.
I don't see how you find the time for it, man. I really don't, because I have a hard time completely, but that's just maybe it's an age thing. I'm kind of old. Maybe it's that I need my sleep, need my beauty sleep.
For me, I love my sleep too. Trust me. Today I slept like I don't know how long. I didn't get to bed till like what is it 3:46. I didn't get to bed till like 1 p.m. I just slept in. I went to bed like at midnight or 1 a.m. So I just slept in. But I love my sleep. But I've been I guess touching on that the full-time job thing. I've been fortunate enough to like. With the job I'm doing right now in the company I work with, it wasn't until recently we started actually doing full-time hours again, like 8 to 5, like being in the whole shift. But ever since COVID happened, unfortunately, we were doing like a part-time schedule where we'd only be doing like 4 to 5 hours, kind of like split shifts basically. And so we were doing that for like the longest time. Some other schedule changes here and there, but doing that. When COVID first happened, I was only working like once a week, and then twice a week. And then it became like 3 times a week. And I think I went back to 5 times a week, but like 8 to 1 or 12 to 5, whatever it would be. So my whole situation with work the past like year and a half, I've been able to like kind of it's full time work, but I haven't been doing like the actual hours. And we've been fortunate enough to still get paid full-time hours despite not doing actual full-time hours. So I've been like super lucky and just fortunate to be able to get that for my work and then still be able to actually put in hours and
that's definitely a lot of work.
It's been a little bit easier for me. Also,
I did want to hit up on what person's put in chat. Playing against people that are better than you helps you better because you learn. And yes, I completely agree with that as well. Like that's the reason why I think me and Anferknee here, we've only played with each other like maybe a handful
Twice,
of times.
maybe?
Like 2 times.
Yeah.
And the last time we played together, I was drunk as hell, and I think you were laughing at me more than freaking paying attention to the game and all that stuff because I was acting so stupid. And next time we play together, I'll make sure I actually not as drunk. I won't say I won't be drunk, but I won't be as drunk. So that I actually put some good gameplay with you and all that stuff and all. But yeah, I completely agree with that because I mean that's the reason why like I was pointing out like people like Pixel Pete when he was doing Halo and then Anferknee and a bunch of other people like there's a lot of people that are better than me and a lot of that does have to do with me playing with better people and all and learning from that and all and them going, hey man, instead of doing this type of movement you should have probably done this type of movement or whatever and all. And then also going back in theater and kind of looking at the way the movement of the map on everybody and all that stuff and trying to figure out like what you could have possibly done better in whatever situation that was in, and all.
I always preach theater. That's the one thing I always preach in my chat all the time. Anytime someone ever asks me, like, like, how do you get better? I tell them, I was like, oh, watching good players, all that. But honestly, like, theater is like your best friend. Callus,
Yep.
Laz. We're always gaming together. He's a huge theater junkie, and I love him for that because like he's really good at breaking down. He's a coach, and you can break down exactly what can happen, or what needs to happen on the map at this given time, and what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, et cetera, et cetera. And so theater is something I'm like super huge on. Not as much as I was when I first started trying to, like get good at Halo 5 and understand why X, Y, and Z happens on the map. Now I have a pretty good understanding of it, but even then, there's definitely times on some maps and certain situations where I'm just like, kind of, confuzzled, if you will, on what exactly I should be doing, or I have an idea, but it's like I'm like, thinking two different things. I don't know which one's the right ones. You kind of just have to like. It just comes from experience and playing. But if you're definitely playing with like higher skilled players, you're definitely gonna be able to train your brain to think faster and
Yeah,
to be more responsive. That's
that,
something I even
that's my
like
biggest
myself. It's
thing.
like, yeah,
Is like by playing with better players, I've noticed is that that makes me have to react faster. If
yeah,
I'm like
absolutely.
a lot of times, what's happened with me is I'll end up playing with a bunch of better players, Ghost, freaking all these other people, and all that stuff. I'll play with them, right? Yeah, I'll probably be negative in the freaking kill to death ratio and all that stuff and all. Sometimes I'm a good anchor. A lot of times I'm a bad one, kind of deal. But with that though, when I go back to like just playing solo grind and whatnot, I mean, I'm just like kind of playing
Yeah,
because
yeah,
because
yeah.
because it's just so slow and people are predictable on their movements and all that stuff because I've been playing with these other people and all that stuff. And like we were just talking about theater and all using theater mode. I won't lie. I say yes, use theater mode. I hardly use it
Yeah,
myself at
it takes
all.
discipline,
And
to be
all
honest.
because
It's hard.
again, limited on time frame and stuff like that. It's hard for me
Mm.
to do that. And all I kind of wish in a way there was a way to like use theater mode like on your mobile device or something like
Yeah,
that.
that would be a great idea.
Because
So when you're at work or on lunch or
yeah, because
something, or yeah,
I
we
always think
have free
about
time. Yeah, no,
yeah.
yeah, and that makes that makes too much sense
I
for it to
mean,
be a thing,
I mean, if there's a way, because then I could go back like while I'm at work on
Yeah,
freaking break time and
yeah, I was
go,
about to say,
okay,
yeah. Watch a 12-minute Slayer match.
blah blah blah, and but we don't have that technology yet within the Halo community
I'll DM
yet.
Unishek.
So
We'll figure something out.
yeah, exactly.
I'll DM Uni. We'll see what's up. But no, that'd be a great idea though. I think I thought about that before myself, like, or even just like being able to obviously like play Halo like on your phone or something, or like some kind of like device like a Switch for Xbox. Be able to play Halo. That's always the dream. Be able to do that. Play Halo wherever. But
Yeah. Well, I
that's
mean, didn't there like this mobile app that they tried coming
oh,
out with?
there's like
Or
what is it
whatever that
called?
you could use
Yeah,
on your
it's like
phone and you just have your controller like hooked into it.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah. I think it's
know,
like the cloud, or I
it's
don't
not
remember
the
the exact name
cloud,
of
but I
it.
forget
It's
what it is. But they tried coming
yeah.
out with that and all, and I don't know whatever happened to that.
I don't,
Because
yeah, I haven't heard any updates from it.
I
I remember hearing
know
about it though.
I know one of my followers, Shadow, he was like I guess in the beta or whatever for it or something like that, and he
Mm,
tried it, and we played together a couple times when he was trying it and all that stuff. And I tell you one thing, there was a definitely like a lag issue with that, but I think a
mm.
lot of the time, Shadows never really had very good internet in the first place, so that might have been freaking that as well. So,
But it being a beta,
um,
it's probably plagued with like technical issues, et cetera,
yeah,
et
but that
cetera.
was
Something he's
that
trying
was
to
way
find with
back
it being a
when.
beta.
I,
Yeah, no, I remember hearing about that, but it's been a hot minute since I've heard like anything official.
Right.
So
What other Halos besides H5 have you played in? And out of all of those, which ones is your favorite?
I got into Halo. I first got into Halo in like first grade with my friend named Justin, and he had the Xbox at his place, and we played Halo 1, and we played like the first mission, and that's like all we ever played. And so I didn't like fall in love with it then. I just like was like, oh, this is cool. But like my dad didn't like Xbox. Like I don't say he hated Xbox, but like he just did not care for Xbox. He was a PlayStation guy. And so that's why we
Yeah,
had the
yeah.
PlayStation
Hey,
1,
I started with
PlayStation
PlayStation. I
2.
understand that too.
Yeah, my dad was all about PlayStation and freaking.
Well, actually,
We
it
had
showed my
the
age. I was actually Atari, but
we had the Super Nintendo, we had Nintendo 64. We had a bunch of stuff, dude. We had a bunch of stuff except Xbox. That was the one. We even had Dreamcast. You know what I mean? We had everything except Xbox. And honestly, like I was a kid, I wasn't buying anything. You know what I mean? I'm just playing all the games my dad's getting me. And so I played Halo 1 when I was a kid, and then it wasn't until I got Xbox Live in like 2011, I think. I got into Call of Duty, like Black Ops, and then MW2, and then my brother Christian told me about Halo and Battlefield. I was immersed into Battlefield, and that was
Battlefield,
like
yes.
Battlefield 3 specifically was like it. That was like, oh my god, that got me off Call of Duty. I was like Operation Metro all day, every day. Like that. That was
See,
amazing. I loved Battlefield 3. That was our
see,
game. We
I
used to. That was
I
those were
played
good times,
three.
man. Those were good times.
I
I
played
miss
three,
them.
4, and 1, and I
Mm.
never got into 5. They got 6 coming out here soon. But for
Yeah,
me, my favorite Battlefield was 1. Honestly, I still play
Battlefield
to this.
1.
I still play to this very day.
Yeah, Battlefield 1, I don't think the last time we played, like me and my brothers, last time we played was like, I don't remember, but I think we played Battlefield 5 somewhat recent. But Battlefield 5, uh, I liked Battlefield 1 sniping, I loved though. Battlefield 1 sniping, I loved. And so, Battlefield 1 wasn't my favorite, but I just loved the sniping if it was really fun. Battlefield 3 would probably always be my favorite, just because everything about it I loved. It was just all new to me. The maps were legit. Doing squad rush like 4v4 instead of having to be like 16v16 or 24v24, whatever it was on 360 at that time. So Battlefield was always my thing. I love Battlefield, but um,
All right,
but
back
then
to the
through that
Halo
too,
games. Back to the Halo
yeah,
games.
I was about to say, but through all that, what happened is I got into Halo also. Whatchamacallit, I got into Halo because of him also, and him saying like, "Oh, you should play Halo." And we had our group of friends from high school too that we would play with, or that he mainly play with, and then yeah, Halo 3. So I think I had Reach and I had 3. I had Reach because it came with a new 360 I bought. So I played Reach, but they're like, "Oh, Reach is trash. Don't play that." And so I got
Oh
Halo
man,
3,
I loved
and
Reach. I
so
loved Reach.
I didn't mind.
That's
I didn't.
that's where I started my Halo freaking time
Yeah.
was on Reach, Halo 4, and now
That
Halo
was my
5.
first multiplayer. I give Reach credit for it being my first multiplayer game, and that's what it was. But Halo, Halo 3 was probably the one I fell in love with the first because this was like 2012, I think I got into it. So I was doing a bunch of like, I used to practice doing Social Slayer. That was my try hard stuff, doing Social Slayer, vetoing for BR starts, not trying to get AR starts on Valhalla and all this stuff. So that stuff was like super fun to me back then. I always wanted to get good at Halo because every time I do customs with my friends, I just get dookied on. And it was just like, dude, I'm gonna get good.
I still
And
get
I'm gonna
dookied
smack
on.
all
What
of
are
you
you
guys
talking
around.
about?
I was like, I'm gonna smack all these people around, bro, someday. And so that was always my motivation, just to get better at the game. And my brother would also show me like, like pro gameplay and all that stuff. And it just like I was like, dude, how do they do it? Like watching like Igar Pistola. I was like, how do they do it? How do they always do it? You know what I mean? How are they just so good? And so I just got exposed to, I guess, a little later on, post
so
definitely
so
Halo 3 golden era
you really
and
didn't play a whole lot
all
of
that.
Reach.
I didn't play a whole lot of Reach. I didn't really care for Reach, to be honest. Once I got into Halo
Okay, all right,
3, I was like,
but
okay,
then
Halo 3 I'm
what
staying
about
on.
H4? H4?
H4 I loved. I still love Halo 4, but I'm
Yeah.
talking FFA H4 is what I love because I never did 4v4, but the global championship, that tournament, I was like, I'm gonna win this stuff, dude. I'm gonna win this shit, and I'm gonna do it. And so I played way too much for Halo 4 Global Championship. And at that time too, it was like what, like in 2013, I think it was, or 2014. I don't even remember.
I
2013,
can't
but I think
remember.
I think it was 2013. I was
I
working at
was in college at that time, so
I was working at McDonald's, and then eventually I quit McDonald's because I just didn't like the schedules on, and I couldn't play Halo enough. So I quit my job, and I was like, all right. And I was living with my grandparents at the time, so money wasn't exactly like I needed to. I was in that kind of situation like I'm in now, where I need to be my own source of income, et cetera, et cetera. So back then I was definitely more lenient, or back then I had more leniency with like my grandparents, and then like definitely need to work to live, but to make a living. But at the same time, it's like I definitely should have been working, but I got sick of McDonald's and I just wanted to play Halo 4 all day. So that's what I did, and yeah, it didn't really work out that way.
yeah.
But Halo 4 I love though. I love Halo 4. Um I'm okay at it, but outside of I mean, Halo 5 is my favorite, but my best Halo probably outside of that might be Halo 4. So like off
Yeah, yeah.
amount of time I put in. But Halo 3, I can still do better at now than before, just because of all the knowledge I've gained from other Halos and how to play Halo at a decent skill level, you could say, at a potential top AM skill level, but not even really there yet exactly. But just trying to get that brain power working for it, be able to play at that level, and then obviously see what I can
Well,
do, like going beyond that for sure.
it's
So,
like for me, like with Halo 3. The only reason why I've ever played Halo 3 was because of MCC and all that
mm,
stuff. That's the only time I've really ever played. But it's like even like lately, I've played some MCC games and all that stuff. But every time I do that, I still ready it up for just Reach in Halo 4 because I'm with you. I was pretty decent at Halo 4 back in the day and all that stuff and all. But it's like for me, like I didn't even a reason why I didn't get into the Halo scene until Reach is because I was in the Marine Corps getting deployed all the goddamn time and stuff like that. From because I was in the Marines from 2000 to 2010 and all that stuff. And so like during that time, doing all the deployments and all that stuff and all, and then also having a family and all. And then when I got
just life
out,
stuff is basically
life
what it is.
stuff and all. I got
Yeah,
out. I went to tech college and all that stuff. Got my associates and all that stuff. And when I was there, I got to know my one of my great friends, real life friends, and all that stuff. And he was like, hey, have you ever played on Xbox? I was like, no, I've been playing on PlayStation. And then before that, Nintendo. And then before that, it was freaking Sega. And then before that, it was freaking Atari
it's
and
just a
all that
laundry list
stuff,
of all these consoles.
and stuff like that. And he was like, man, give Xbox a try. And the first time I seen the controller set up for it, you know what I'm saying? The controller set up for it. I'm like, why are the thumbsticks like this? Why are they not
Yeah,
down here?
yeah.
And all that
It's all
stuff.
it's a learning curve. It's a
And
learning curve.
and I'm just like, what is with all like, like why is it so freaking huge?
Yeah, the OG Xbox, the Duke, I never got into too much, but that was its own freaking monstrosity.
Right,
I never
but
played much on it.
and he was like, "Oh, just give it a try, whatever," and all that stuff. And he had Reach, and I ended up getting to know this one other. I ended up getting to know this one other dude, Brody, and we ended up playing a lot of Reach together, all three of us. Brody lives in Canada, so and no, my friend Jerry, he lives in Chicago now, but we were back in PA during that time. But I hate infection nowadays, right? But I hate infection nowadays. But what we would do, the three of us, like we would play infection and get on sword base, and the little air vent and all that stuff that
I'm pretty sure. Is it the one that? Wait, yeah. Because then there's a lift that there's a lift
there's
they
a
can go
lift
up,
that
but
you can
there's
get
an air vent.
into
Yeah,
the air
I know
vent,
talking
or you
about.
just
Yeah,
go to the regular
yeah.
plateau pot. We would get in there, and like let's say me and Jerry are the zombies, and oh boy is freaking alive still. Me and Jerry, we would like post up in the freaking air vent, crouch down. You know what I'm saying? Crouch down,
Yeah.
and he'd just be shooting all the zombies and all that stuff and all. And we'd have to get down a little bit of ways so that just in case one zombie came through the airlift or whatever, he would be able to turn around or
Yeah.
and all that stuff and all. We would piss so many people off by doing that and all that stuff. Freaking teamers, blah blah blah. All that stuff. Oh man, that was like that's the only time I ever like actually had fun playing zombies was whenever we did something like that and all. But like the matchmaking in that the matchmaking in that like was like really really helped because having that was like the beginning of the advanced movement and all that stuff and all.
Introducing splints and all
Um,
that. So.
so like that's really the reason why I'm glad I kind of started off at Reach and then Halo 4 and all. They could have definitely done better with the graphics, I think, with Halo 4 and all that stuff. But I still love
Yeah.
playing
I
freaking
just
Halo 4.
I just treat Halo 4 like as it is, just like it exists and has its moments of just randomness where it's just like, okay, why is this in a Halo game? Or this isn't, this is just random, or this is like, there feels awkward and clunky. I think that's the thing with Halo 4. It's just like the movement was just so clunky. Like from Halo 4 to H5, the sprinting in H5 feels so fluid. The thrusting is so fluid, and everything in everything Halo 5 has is just really, it works well. Even like ground pound, Spartan charge, which I don't really care for, but I mean it works well. It runs smooth.
Well, I mean,
that's what matters. You know what I mean?
with the ground pound and Spartan charge and stuff like that, the one good thing is about that, it's not an HCS.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not an HCS. Yeah. So with you don't have to worry about that and all that stuff. Well, the ground pound, right? No, Spartan charge.
Yeah, ground pound and Spartan charge are both not an HCS.
Yeah.
So that's why it's just like I'm happy it's its own thing, like in the Slayer.
And all, so whatever. I mean, I agree. Like when Infinite comes out, and if Spartan charge and ground pound's out of there, I won't miss it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't really, exactly. I'm the same way.
Completely taken out. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
But like with the new, with the video that they had come out way back when and all that stuff with the grapple and all that stuff, that's going to bring, if that's within the actual matchmaking, which I don't think it would be. Maybe I don't know. That would be very interesting on how the gameplay is worked. You know what I'm saying? That question is going to be asked a little bit later. Okay, don't worry, Kat.
No, I think grappling hook is going to be in like an infinite multiplayer, like for sure, in some capacity. I don't know how it's going to be in comp play or anything like that. I don't know how it's going to work out. I mean, they only really showed us the grappling hook. I'm curious to see what other like abilities, I guess you can call them, are going to be in the game. If thrust is even going to be in it, it's looking like it's not. And if they had thrust be in the game, I feel like it should be like how it was in Halo 5. Like everyone has it, you don't have to pick it up. But I don't work at 3 for 3, so I don't know. But
I'm
curious to see what other abilities they're gonna have besides the grappling hook. But, I mean, that does look interesting. Is it gonna be a comp play? I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see if it is and it's gonna work. Are we gonna have like a Halo 5 issue where in the beginning of Halo 5's comp season, it was all these like AR stars, it was radars, all these like just weird settings that were like eventually got it became the settings we play on now, but it was just too little too late, unfortunately.
Right.
By the time the player base kind of dropped off and all that kind of stuff. But
I mean,
I don't know.
I'd like just to see the flight come out already. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's something we all want to see.
Like let us freaking, let the flight come out. Let us let the the Halo peeps that have been playing it for years, whatever. Let us crash that thing. Let us crash that thing, so that you get all the bugs fixed and all that stuff, and have the main game come out and be fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's get that flight going already so that we can.
And I'm curious to see what E3 is going to hold for Infinite in terms of like another trailer or a big announcement of like a beta or a flight or something. So, we'll see with E3 what they have planned for us, if anything. I mean, I'm ready right now. Honestly, like in my opinion, I'm not even like the whole like release date too. No one even still knows, which for me, I'm always kind of like sketched out on. Cause I'm just like, bro, like let us plan for the future of like what we're gonna do. Number one, and then number two, it's like it's literally gonna be like 5 or 6 months away. We still don't know a release date. And why does it matter if it's at E3 if we find out a release date or frickin' tomorrow on Twitter I wake up?
Are you sure it's going to be this year though?
I mean, it has to be. It should be. There's no way, dude. But I mean, with them securing the venue for the first LAN this year, there's no way it can't be, right? They go that far to have it backtrack. I mean, it could happen. Yeah. Is it going to? I don't know, man. I mean, I'm for it, and I'm also like, I don't know. Like, I'm, just based on what we've seen in the history of like.
Well, I'm being very pessimistic. I'm being very pessimistic. I still
feel the same way.
I'm not expecting it this year. I'm really not. I'm just not expecting it this year. And all that stuff. You got COVID still going, and we're almost into June.
True.
Okay.
Yeah, true.
Like you can only do. I've said this before. I think I had Nate God on here when I was talking about it and all that stuff. But I said it to him. Then I'll say it again. There's only so much you can do from home.
Yeah.
Being a graphic designer, whatever, all that stuff. I mean, because it takes a team of people to do this stuff. I have no freaking clue, but I've been a manager. I've been all that stuff. I've been a platoon sergeant, all that stuff. And had to orchestrate a bunch of freaking people and you can't do that very well remotely. You just
Yeah.
can't. And all that
I think that's
stuff.
why I got delayed in the first place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But now that it's still going, and you're still like only allowing 50% or 25%
Yeah.
or whatever it is, it's still
Yeah.
going to be slow. So we'll
Yeah.
see how that
And to be
goes.
fair, I mean, what kind of goes against 3 for 3, to be honest, they did reveal the trailer saying holiday 2020, and then a month later they did delay it. And it's like, why couldn't have this been announced sooner? Why did we get this trailer specifically saying 2020, and then literally a month later they're like, oh, sorry, bro, and like they delayed it. You know what I mean? So
Because
it's like
they
they kind
already
of did
spent
wait.
all of their marketing money. They are all the contracts. I guarantee this is how it worked. I don't know for sure, but I
Yeah, yeah.
guarantee this is how it worked. They had all the contracts already signed and done. Mountain Dew, all them people, and all
Mm.
that stuff. They had all that stuff already planned out and done. So they probably announced it or whatever, thinking maybe they could hurry up something, maybe I
Yeah, they
don't know
could.
or whatever. And then later on,
And
they're
then
like, "Oh shoot, we do this, we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and do whatever." But yet, because all those marketing freaking contracts was already signed, done, sealed, and delivered, that's the reason why we've seen all of the Halo freaking merch come out, all the Halo codes and all that
yeah.
stuff. It's
Oh yeah, I
because
forgot about those.
those th-
Yeah,
th- th- those contracts were already done
yeah, that
because
makes
that
sense.
was going to be part of the hype of freaking the new Xbox, part of the hype of the new
Yeah, the Series
Halo,
X and
all
everything.
that
Yeah, yeah,
stuff. All of that was already done. So it's like, pull the plug, which is good that they did,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
all that
yeah. No,
stuff.
absolutely.
But now they spent almost most of their marketing and all that stuff already. How they're going to remarket this, I don't know. We'll find out. But I
Yeah.
hope they don't shoot themselves in the foot again. That's
I
all.
think,
You
yeah, I
know.
think with the, I mean, I don't know. I guess with the marketing, I feel like, because from what I've seen on Twitter, like I've seen like people like Shroud and like even like like Courage JD and like all these other like big personalities and streamers, like kind of like, I think the latest Halo Infinite like update that came out, I think even Shroud was like he even commented on Twitter. So for me, it's like people already like know of the game. Like all like whether it's like no matter how big you are in Twitch or in gaming in general, it's like everyone's already aware of it in terms of
Yeah.
just like everyone's on the hype train. I feel like they just want to see it come out and have something to kind of go with it, like a release date or a beta or something to kind of like physically be able to actually play.
Okay.
Um,
All
so
right.
I don't know.
All
So
right.
I feel about it.
We're running over this a little too much. We're being a dead
Yeah, I
horse
know.
here.
Yeah, we're chilling. We're
All right.
chilling.
All right. So, and this also relates to the question in the chat. What is it that you want for the? What are your future goals? What are your future
E.
goals?
Well, my future goals for me personally with streaming, I want to be a certified Twitch partner on Twitch, obviously. That's like my biggest thing. And I want to be a part of HCS Grassroots in terms of something specifically within Halo. Those are my two biggest things, just because for me personally, streaming, I was take my streaming very seriously in terms of just like I try to give my all every stream and put on the best gameplay I can do to attract people, and also just know what attracts me, or like why people watch me. I try to like feed in that more people watch me because maybe it's guitar, the gameplay, my looks, I don't know. So I try to like, I just want to like, try to be the best streamer that I can be with who I am, without compromising who I am. And so, I want to be able to be a Twitch partner and have that check mark. I want to be able to be a part of Grassroots. For me, I definitely crave just having a certification attached to my name on Twitch that kind of, you know, that's just like a stamp of approval in the sense of just like,
Okay.
something
All
saying like,
right.
hey,
I can get that. I can
I
get
did
that.
it. I did it. You know what I mean? Even though like I've reached a lot of success now with streaming, just being a Twitch affiliate with just people that stop by like every day and any financial support or any alerts or anything like that. And just for me, I really just crave this, kind of stamp of approval to be able to say like, like I'm here, I did this, and that's what I want personally for me. But I know it's not going to happen most likely until Infinite comes out, until the community just grows bigger, unless I become like a god in Halo 5 right now, which is always a possibility in terms of just me grinding harder and playing playing against better players and like whether it be money twos or money eights or et cetera, and just go
Well,
on that route.
remember when it comes to streaming, though. Remember when it comes to streaming, it's not just being really good at the game, though.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's not really. It's not just that. It's also having the personality.
True.
It's about and being interactive with your community and all that stuff and all. So don't think that you have to be a god in order to make it in streaming and all that stuff and all. Like that's really in a way the only reason why I still stream to this very day and all that stuff is because I am no god. I will never be a god and all that stuff and all. But I did make affiliate and all. I'd still grow. I still have a small following and all that stuff. Nothing compared to you or a bunch of others and all that stuff. And a lot of people that's actually been streaming a lot shorter time than I have.
Yeah.
And I'm so very proud of all of them and all people making partner and all. I'm very proud and all that stuff. But for like my community, it's mostly freaking the camaraderie, the freaking laughs, the jokes, the that kind of deal and all.
If you will.
So
yeah.
please don't be straight focused on being really good at the game. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to make sure that you also do things with your community and all that stuff. Like sometimes I've done like movie nights within the Discord,
community game nights, all that.
Community game nights. I used to do them all the time.
No, yeah.
All that stuff.
You're absolutely right.
You got all those little things. Bring things offer to it because even myself, I watch you and I love how good you get at the game and all that stuff and all. But don't think that being the best is the only thing that's going to make you do good in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think that's something I definitely don't think about too often or definitely hear enough. So thank you for that. I guess for me, it comes from a place of just like, just wanting to just be the best me that I can be. You know what I mean? And I want to be accessible to a lot of people.
That's better. You want to be a best you.
Yeah. So I want to try to. I want to be the best player that I can be and be as accessible to a lot of people that I can be. That would make people want to maybe stop by or just give me a chance. You know what I mean? I feel like it's also just kind of just knowing who you are and what you want to do and how you could just what you can offer that someone else can't per se. And so I guess the whole like becoming a god, it's more like, what I mean is I just want to if I'd probably achieve more now if I definitely was a better player possibly in Halo 5. Obviously if people want to watch,
you get champ on a regular basis now. You get champ on a regular basis. Come on now. And you solo queue most of the time. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know. But people watch the pros, for a reason because they're really good. You know what I mean? So I want to be able to offer something like that in terms of just being able to offer really great gameplay and being really good.
Would you like to be on a pro team?
With Infinite, I'm going to compete. Do I want to go pro? What I keep telling myself is that instead of asking myself that question, I just tell myself I want to learn how to play the game correctly. And even something I even apply with Halo 5 now. I want to learn how to play Halo 5 correctly. Even right now with Infinite, I'm definitely going to learn how to play Infinite correctly. And if correctly means just going pro and just seeing what I can do and testing my limits and all that stuff and just seeing how good I can get, then it might be. But I also want to make sure I'm having fun with the game. I'm healthy. It's something I want to do, not just something I'm forcing myself to do just to, reach a new audience. So that question, people ask me, oh, do you want to go pro? I'm always kind of borderline, but I really want to see how I am with the game, how I feel just,
my biggest
mentally, physically, and if it's something I really want to pursue. But I do want to learn how to play the game to the best of my ability. And if that can come across, that can go along the lines of heading towards a pro direction and, and networking and doing what I can do to put myself in a good position, then yes, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. My biggest thing is that it's just always, don't stress too much. Always try to improve yourself, but don't ever overstress yourself. Because trust me,
I don't want to do that.
If you overthink it, you overstress yourself, and all you're going to burn yourself out. Yeah. And all that stuff. Been there, done that. Okay.
Yeah.
And that doesn't just go with Halo. That also goes with streaming. That goes with life.
Everything.
Yeah. All of it. You know what I'm saying? Try not to take anything too seriously and all that stuff, but at the same time, do try to improve yourself every single day. All right. All right, we gotta talk about that freaking corny ass freaking skit that you did a while
Oh,
back
which
ago
one?
with Jen
The
and
Anferknee show? Oh my
yeah, with
god.
Jen and Persecute. That
Yeah.
was that was probably the corniest freaking skit I've ever seen. Where'd you come up with the idea? No, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it was
Yeah,
corny as
no,
hell.
no, yeah.
But where did you come up with that
I
idea of
mean,
doing that?
the Anferknee show is a freaking masterpiece, man. That's literally, it's a masterpiece. That's literally what, more people. Yeah, that's what you can still do with a 6-year-old game is what that's what I'll say. You know what I mean? That's what you can do with a 6-year-old game. You can still be creative with it and do all these just dumb shenanigan things, not to be taken like super serious, just meant to like, you know, uh, just have fun with. But no, I did the first episode where I just like I don't know. I don't even know how I thought of it. I don't know if it was because sometimes I think of my best ideas when I'm sleeping and I wake up and I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? I just think of an idea of what to do, and so I don't even remember
Like the
how the Anthony
Squidward
show came
hat?
about. Huh?
Like the
Oh,
Squidward hat?
yeah. Oh, the Patrick Star hat I have. Yeah. No, I think I
Sorry,
just
I'm
like
sorry,
thought
my
of
bad.
was like you're good. I think I just thought of the freaking I think I just thought of like what if I just added audio laugh tracks to my clips? Like it's me actually playing on stream, but I'm not trying to do something for something. I'm just playing the game and it turns out I can edit it and make it into this like laugh track thing and just take a dumb moment and add some laughs to it or the sad like the crowd's sad or something. Just add these things to it and make it funny. And yeah, people really liked it. And then for that episode specifically with Jen and Persecute, I like what did I do? I think
Oh, y'all did
I was
y'all
like
did
trying to
like a
think.
phone call thing or something like
Yeah, we
that.
did a phone call thing, and then we went to the movies. For that episode
Yeah.
because the previous three were just based on my stream, and I just edited stuff for my stream. This time, I actually wanted to purposefully do something like an episode, more specifically like a Drake and Josh episode, which is
Okay,
how they would
okay,
do their,
okay.
like in Drake and Josh when they be doing their intros, they be like talking to the camera and or that they're doing side by side, they just be in their own little square or whatever, and so. Even the transitions were like like diagonally split, and that's how it is in Drake and Josh too. I think there's even like a sound effect with their transitions, um, but yeah, I just like I hit up Jen, or I thought of the idea. I think maybe when I woke up from a nap or something, but I told Jen I was like, hey, I got an idea that basically involves me confessing my love for you in a sense, with just having to be some
Oh, come on, man.
comedy stuff. And so I was like, let's do this. Where basically I'm gonna like ask you to go on a date and all this stuff, and then basically we're gonna invite Persecute, and we're gonna have him beatboxing because he has his videos up already, and we're gonna go to the movies, and that's where my Halo gameplay will be, just in the movie theater watching a
Right,
montage.
right,
And what's
right.
funny too, which is something I always tell people, I made that montage about like a month or two ago. I didn't make it for that episode or for the show. I just made it. And if I wanted to do something with it that was special instead of just posting on Twitter and being like, oh yeah, here's a montage. So I made that montage like a month or two ago and I saved it. And then it got perfectly used in this Anthony show episode where it just fit so well. And I was like, dude, genius. And so yeah, and then we just did everything and I was like, oh, how your house blow up? And I typed in house blowing up on YouTube and Fast and Furious had a scene where I guess Paul Walker's house blows up or something. I don't know. I think that's what happened. He was in the scene, but I don't remember what the context was. And so, yeah, it was pretty. It just all worked out really well. That's probably definitely one of the most popular and probably my most fun episode because it just hit everything. It had a storyline, had emotion, had heartbreak, had beautiful Halo clips that I made with the beautiful montage in it, and a movie theater. Like it was just all. It was really good. It was
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
really
It
good.
was
I was really
good. It
happy
was
about
good
that.
and corny as hell. But
Yeah. I mean,
I
yeah,
mean,
it's not
I mean,
laughs and rolls and
I
stuff.
mean, I laughed my ass off. Okay, I laughed
Yeah,
my
yeah,
ass off.
yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
did, and all that stuff. And then you being able to get other people involved in it
Yeah.
and all that stuff and all like that
Spread the clout,
that
as
made it
they
even
say.
better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Fun
um,
fact too, that video actually got me the Tommy Wilson saying follow on Twitter. I'm not
oh,
gonna
there you
lie.
go.
He liked it and he followed me on Twitter. Finally. And I was like, dude, I'm going places. I got that Tommy Wilson follow. I was like streaming and I checked my phone and I was like, I was so happy. It made me happy to be honest. I was like, dude, It made me happy. I know it's just a Twitter follow, but it made me happy because I was like, oh, I guess he saw it. I didn't think. I always think nobody sees my stuff. You know what I mean? But I always
Yeah,
forget that on
same
social
here.
media,
I never think
everybody can
anybody
see
ever
it.
sees my stuff either. So,
People do. You know what I mean? That's the thing. People do see your stuff, whether
yep.
you think so or not. That's just reality. People do see it. So it's always crazy how that stuff works out. But that made me very happy.
All right. Let's kind of get back on the infinite freaking thing, okay?
Oh yeah.
All right. So, what do you want most out of infinite? Like what are you
In
looking
general, like me personally, or
what
just
is
as a
it
game,
that
or
you want to see the most out of infinite?
what I want to see the most out of Infinite. I mean, really, it's just a bigger community. I know, and I'll elaborate on that.
I want better servers.
That yeah. In terms of a community, in terers of like the community of Halo, obviously Infinite's gonna bring a whole new wave of players and content creators and just people you never even heard of that are gonna be doing super well. People you have heard of that will will hopefully blow up over time as time goes on and hard work gets put into it. And so I guess personally for me, speaking like from kind of like just I guess just a small streamer perspective of someone that doesn't have a whole lot of like I guess you could say certifications to their name, but I still like to see the people that are I like to see the people that are streaming now, um, just do really well in Infinite because I know when Infinite comes out, there'll be a lot of people streaming it. Everyone's viewership's going to be up and down. It's gonna be a lot of stuff going on. But I just like to see the people that are still putting time into Halo now. Myself, akin to Persecute, just from the Halo 5 side of things. Ghost, I want to see do great things in Infinite.
Yep,
That
same
man's
here.
always grinding. I love Ghost. He's the best. That man deserves a lot more.
He does.
Pixel Pete, I love too. He doesn't even play Halo anymore, but I want to see him freaking blow up. So there's a lot of people I want to see really good things just happen to because they're still playing Halo now. We're still trying to keep the Halo community alive, and people do notice us. And so, I guess I just want us to see us do really well, and try our best to just keep up with everybody, and also just do things that can make us stand out even more than we're already doing now.
Yeah, it's. I definitely expect you to blow the fuck up. So don't worry about that.
That's what a lot of people say. Not to toot my own horn, but I definitely people say it, and I believe it. But also, I gotta put in the work.
I'm going to be that guy sitting waiting in the wings and going, yeah, I knew that guy when he was starting out.
Oh man,
still sitting down here relaxing.
It'd be crazy to get to that point, but I definitely people say that, and when people say that, I'm definitely just like, oh, you know what I mean? And I know they mean it, and I don't even see it as like any pressure being put on me. It's definitely something I want for myself. I want to see him with the stream, do extremely well, and just I just want to achieve my goals. I want that partnership with Twitch. I want to be a part of Grassroots. I want to be a stream that a lot of people can go to and just have a good time and learn or, vibe and be entertained by me, Chad, my guitar, just anything really.
Right.
So I want to be able to be accessible to a lot of people and just, feel accomplished in some way in my life, knowing I did something, I guess you could say.
I definitely feel you're definitely on the right track, man. You definitely are. You're putting out the content and all that stuff. And you've got a positive attitude all about it, man. I believe it.
I try.
I believe in you. Even though you do bitch at your teammates sometimes, and all that stuff. But you do it very politely. You know what I'm saying? I was like, God, if that guy would have just moved over there, we would have been like better.
I did a match yesterday where I think my first warm-up match was like Team Arena. We lost 199 Strongholds Empire. I dropped like 30 kills for my team. And we lost because freaking Mike Jabroni didn't want to go pit to contest. So when I spun up, I can just thrust slide into it and we win before they captured it. But I sent him a message and it was just like saying like, hey, next time just go pit and contest it. Next time we'll win. And I told him like, GG's, dude. So like, I'm always like bitching at my teammates, like, verbally, assuming they're not in my stream hearing me. But like, if I'm actually going to send them a message, I'll be polite. And at the end of the day, I really doesn't like, I'm not going home or I'm not like going to bed thinking like, oh my God, that matchmaking. How did that happen? Like, unless I perform super bad, where I'm just like, okay, that was just embarrassing. But for the most part, it's like it's me just in the moment, just bitching. Because sometimes it's all like it just gets frustrating seeing what I'm seeing. And I'm just like, but at the end of the day, we're all learning. It's nothing. There's nothing. No bad blood with it or anything. So I'm sure, you know,
I
people have done that with
don't
me
know, man.
before,
I
back
don't
then and
know.
even now.
Those couple of times I got really freaking drunk and all that stuff, I've gotten some hate mail. Okay,
Oh yeah, no,
so
people are assholes.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
I
I
think
just go, hey
yesterday.
man, I'm just having a good old time over here.
Yeah,
Hey, we're playing
exactly.
in a social match, not a ranked match. Relax, dude.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
But it is
So
what it is. But I ain't really
yeah.
ever worried about that too terribly much. Okay. All right.
But no,
Let's.
yeah, with Infinite, this is what I want to see: just personal growth and just other people succeed around me. That putting in time now. That's pretty much about it.
What
And as far
about
as the game
gameplay?
goes,
What about like
yeah, as far as the
gameplay
game
and
goes,
stuff?
I mean, just better. Just what just right comp settings, right meaning just what majority of the community wants from veterans and newcomers, and is what everybody thinks that would be best. Um, Established way sooner than it was with Halo 5. It took like what 2 years to get like the settings we play now or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I
So
think
just
so.
better comp settings, um, sooner, and then I mean that's about it. I mean, from what they've shown so far, I'm fan of sprint, fan of sliding, fan of clambering. So you know, until I actually get how it feels, I definitely have more of an opinion on it of or what I want to see in it, what needs to be tweaked, nerfed, what needs to be added, et cetera, the speed of it, how it plays.
What kind of game modes you want to definitely see in the game?
Ooh, I
What
kind of
kind
want
of
to see
game
Extraction
modes?
make a comeback. I'm not gonna lie,
What
Extraction and Halo. Extraction
extraction?
is from Halo 4.
Okay.
Kind of want to see them make a little bit of a comeback. If not, King of the Hill. King of the Hill is fine. Um, yeah, Strongholds. I love Strongholds. That's fine too. But maybe Strongholds or King of the Hill. I know sometimes people debate about whether Slayer or not should be in comp play as a comp game type. Because people just say Slayer is just it's just Slayer. There's no objective you're working for. It's just Slayer. But I don't mind Slayer in it though. I'm not a I don't mind Slayer in
Hey,
comp, to be honest. But
Slayer better be in there. That's all I gotta say.
yeah, no, it will be in the
You know what
game.
I'm
But as far
saying?
as like a competitive game type that you play like at a for a
Oh,
championship,
okay, all right.
people argue about
Yeah,
not having Slayer because I think like I don't know if it's Rainbow Six Siege or what other games do where they don't even have Slayer. It's just kind of like
it's all
it's
objective
just all
based.
objective. I think even CS:GO, I don't think they even have like a Slayer game type on their
No.
champ. I think it's just all OBJ. I think. Don't quote me on that. So, but I mean, I'm fine with Slayer and Halo. Like, it's just kind of. I always thought that's where it came from, Slayer. So it's from Halo. So I don't know.
Right.
But
Well, I mean,
weird
it's
without
Slayer
it.
with
But
just certain objectives added into it and all that stuff
yeah,
to add a more mix to it. Because it's like with me, like with H5 playing Team Arena, like I feel that's obviously the most difficult freaking game mode that we have in there.
yeah.
Besides then what free for
Team
all.
Arena or solo queue, same settings.
And
Team Arena is
all,
just four
but
v four
like
or
if you
just
get
with team
good
of
at
four.
those games, if you
Mm,
get at that game type, Team Arena and all that, you get good at it and all that stuff. Like all the other game types are pretty freaking easy. I
yeah.
think. I think if you get
No,
good
yeah.
at that, so
You can. The times I've played the Slayer playlist, I definitely have struggled with a little bit, but I barely play Slayer, as in I rarely play it because it's a different game type, or it's Slayer, but it's like different settings and stuff. But if you're solid at Team Arena or even 2v2s, just those comp game types, like you don't gotta worry about other stuff. You're solid all around. That's
yep,
stuff people are gonna look at, especially if they're comp settings at tournaments that you play for. Yeah.
yep. All right, so all right, you've been streaming for a while. I've been streaming for a little while as well. What advice, or did we already go over this? I think we might have
I don't think
already
we
gone over this.
did, or maybe.
What advice would you give new streamers?
Oh boy. Um, I would say have confidence in what you're doing and have confidence in what you're doing. Realize, depending on what your goals are for your stream, realize whatever game you're playing, what you can do to reach out to the most amount of like people possible in the community that would want to watch you, if that makes sense. Um, so obviously, like, what I mean by that is like, with Halo, there's a lot of Halo content creators that are very good on the YouTube side, like just casual stuff, and then there's obviously the competitive players. So with whatever one you want to be, just try to do your best to, I don't say to be the best at it, but like it's just realize what your audience, watching the game likes to watch. And if you want to do something completely outlandish and creative, that's fine too. Just be the best at it, I would say.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I think the other thing is with that as well is that you want to be your own person. You don't
Yeah.
want let's say you're normally a competitive type of person, but you're gonna stream as if you're casual and all that stuff and all. Guess what? That competitive side of you is going to come out into that, and you're not being yourself. You're not playing as yourself. You're not streaming as yourself and all. Be your own person. Know who know who you are. And on the thing is that you're like, even with saying know who you are, you're not going to know exactly what you want to stream, exactly how you want to stream from the very get go. Yeah, it's you're going to have different transitions, and you're going to find like where you want to be, how you want to present yourself to the world, basically, and all that stuff, and then go from there. And because you got your toxic people, you got your freaking nice people, and you got your people that's kind of in the middle. I consider myself a little bit in the middle because I can be toxic and I can be really nice, like kind of figure out the kind of games that you want to play and all that stuff. Because it's like with me, throughout my time, I've been more known as like a variety streamer. Like play Apex, play Halo, play COD, play freaking all these other little games, Battlefield, all that. Some freaking Killer Instinct as well. Did all of that stuff. And in a way that was like me streaming and trying to figure out what I wanted to do and what I wanted to mostly play on and stuff like that. Because like before I came back into Halo 5, I was playing mostly Battlefield 1 and stuff like that. And yeah, Battlefield 1 it's fun to play for a day, for a couple hours, but then the next day it's like you're doing the same thing on the same maps over and over and over again, and with basically all the same exact outcomes. Now, I'm not going to lie, Halo can be kind of like that too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And all that stuff and all, but I get more enjoyment out of playing H5 than what I did with Battlefield 1, because with Battlefield 1, it was me sniping half the freaking time. If I wasn't sniping, I was getting my big honking freaking LMG and freaking rushing the buildings and all that stuff and trying to blow them up and all that stuff. But then I go to Halo. I come back to Halo because I got Halo when it first came out as well. But it was so broken and all that that I left it and all, and then I came back and like I'd still play it. And it's like now for me, the games that I play now is H5 and Apex. And, because I am the type, I got like a little bit ADD, ADHD, or whatever you could say, and all. I cannot play one single game for a whole week straight. I have to play a different game just to change up the monotony. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
At least now I'm not doing Rocket League, Battlefield, H5, Apex, PUBG, and all that stuff every day, doing a different game. Because guess what? It's really hard to grow a community playing a different game every single day.
Oh yeah,
and all that stuff.
I agree.
So if you can at least, for somebody like me, narrow it down to just 2 games and all that stuff, and then obviously make your main game whatever it is. Like like this week for me, my main game this week was going to be Apex, and I let my community know, hey, this week's going to be all Apex for the most part, and which also means there's going to be at least one day I'm going to play freaking Halo. But the following week I might play nothing but freaking Halo and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So definitely it's a trial basis, and learn who you want to be, how you want to present yourself, and all that stuff and all. Because it's like, we talked about this a while back ago. I think we talked to each other through text message and all that stuff or whatever. And you were really trying to figure out the route you wanted to go and all that stuff.
Question like what I want to do as a streamer for Halo.
I was like, well, which do you rather like doing? What, playing more casually, or do you like playing more comp like? And you were like, I'd rather do comp. Like, well, then
Yeah.
go that route. Then go that route and all that stuff and all. Because I was like, because I was thinking maybe you were going more casual, and I was like, well, start doing what I do. Freaking, do a face cam, do freaking whatever. Like be more personable. When you're like, no, I'd rather do
Yeah.
comp.
There's always that
And
comp side of me.
I'm like, all right, well then do that. Start talking to freaking, pro level people or whatever, or close to that.
Yeah.
Start playing
Put
with them,
myself
and
out there
bam,
more, et cetera, et cetera.
You've grown so much, and I'm so proud of you, man.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I guess another thing too, I also want to say with starting out streaming is have fun. What a lot of people
definitely
did.
have fun.
Like have fun, but I guess what I mean by that also, as cliche as that sounds, have fun. It's like just play with friends, dude. Like when you're starting out streaming and it's hard to get people to watch you play, like having like playing with somebody can like completely change the atmosphere. Like I know a lot of people I'm friends with the streaming started out just playing with friends at first because it's just obviously when you're starting out it's hard to get people to watch. And even now, like sometimes I'll always play with friends. Like I'll play with my friend Dom or I'll play with Callus, Laz. As much as I just do that just to like just play with somebody and be able to like talk to somebody in case like chat might not be super active or just to have like a different vibe, just have somebody else there with you. But I say also playing with somebody when starting out streaming, or obviously whenever in the point in your streaming career, can definitely be super key and huge. I was watching some streams last night actually on Halo, super late night. There's this one dude. He was like playing with like him and his 3 buddies. And he had like 4 or 5 years, and that's just like that's how you do it at the beginning. You always just play with some friends. You know what I mean? Just to have someone to talk to, and if they change the whole atmosphere. That's probably the biggest tip you can probably tell someone. Just play with friends at the beginning. To be honest,
it feels a lot better. It feels a lot better, like because even though like if you're playing with other people and all that stuff and all, you're still talking. You can still
people can hear your voice.
You can still interact with your chat and all that stuff. But then most of the time, whenever that's happening or whatever, people just tend to just watch it because they're laughing or they're going, oh shit, listen to what's coming out of this guy's mouth right now. Because that's what happens most of the time whenever anybody plays with me. Everybody's just like, what's going to come out of Worm Dog's freaking mouth next? So
playing with friends is key.
I won't lie, I get bored playing them alone. I get bored.
There's times I've streamed and I'm just like playing MM and I'm just like, I'm so fucking bored right now. Like there's times it just happens because just for one reason or another you just feel that way, and that's okay. It's natural. So sometimes it's like when I recognize that, I'm just like, I either gotta play with somebody or I gotta just like, I don't know. It's not even know what to do. I'm just like, all right, I'll just keep playing. I guess try to give myself a goal of hitting a clip or something, some sense of fulfillment. So because that stuff does happen, and so that's where like just playing with somebody can just be clutch sometimes.
And with that, like don't force yourself to keep streaming.
Yeah,
as well, and all that stuff. Like even if like let's say you're not having a good time, you're getting bored or whatever, you're just getting overall frustrated, right? Let's say you're getting overall frustrated, and let's so happen like somebody just happens to rage you, or people are starting to chat. Sometimes when people start chatting, all right, that'll bring up your state and all that stuff. But sometimes it won't. But just because those people are in chat and all that stuff, don't force yourself to stay on and all because trust me, after a while, those people that are in your chat, they're going to see that you're not in the best of moods and blah blah and all that stuff.
The whole thing.
That goes back on like mental health and
I was about to really say mental health
making sure you take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself and all, your community is going to notice it and all that stuff, and who knows what'll happen.
That might be that one time someone like special is watching. You could say that maybe like a pro player or something, and they might be checking you out. Then they're like, oh, this guy's vibes are chalked, and you know what I mean. It's just how it goes sometimes. You know what I mean. So no, I agree 100% with what you're saying.
I agree, Kat. Freaking don't drink as much as I do. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Let me see here. Yeah, well, it's a lot of freaking words out. I'm not gonna say freaking. I see house cat, but I'm just gonna say cat because that sounds more fun.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, all right, here we go. This kind of goes along with this, what we've been talking about or whatever. What do you look forward to the most right before you go live?
Ooh. Um, I don't even know, to be honest. I don't really think of it like that. Like what I look forward to the most. Honestly, I just hope people show up. That's all I ever want. It's just people to show up. I'm not kidding. That's literally all I ever want. Is just people to show up and like it's not even like hitting like a specific viewer like number, like viewership number. 'Cause I mean, obviously I care about my viewership, but at the same time, I'm not like I care about it, but I'm not like I need to hit this amount of number today. Like I don't like it's Halo 5. It's if numbers fluctuate so freaking much and depends on who's streaming. To be honest, that's just what it is. If pros are streaming, it's hard to get people to watch. It's just that's just how it goes.
Well, I mean,
So I don't even
at the same time, though,
at the
even
same
if
time.
the pros are streaming and all, and if you've built your community and all
Yeah.
that stuff, they'll still show up. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know, and I've seen it too. Like I still got the same regulars I can always name on the top of my head that still show up and will always talk and lurk and all that. So no, I know I got some real ones. I guess what I'm thinking of is like the other people that maybe don't stop by so often that will be willing to maybe check me out. But the thing I look forward to live, I mean, I guess I just worry about I just worry about people showing up, I guess, to be honest. But honestly, I guess what I do like to do for myself is always try to hit a clip every day that I can post on Twitter. Whether it's a nasty clip or just
that's more of an expectation, not what you look forward to, but that's okay. I'll take it.
Yeah, I look forward to trying to hit a clip. But I don't know. I don't really know, to be honest. I never thought of it like that. Just because.
Well, for me,
it's just yeah. Go yeah. Wait,
me,
what do you look forward to?
What I look forward to is my community, my community, like 100%, like because whenever my community comes in, I've got a handful of guys that always come in. They might not stay forever, but they they come in and all that stuff.
Drop in, say what's up,
and all, and like that brightens my freaking day every single time. Whenever I got my guys coming in and all, whenever I got a guy coming in chat and it was like, hey man, you got an open spot for me to join, that makes my fucking day. You know what I'm saying? Because why is somebody, especially if this person's like better than I am and all that stuff, why is this guy hitting up my old sorry ass and wanting to play with me? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I look forward to every single day is my community and what we have done together throughout the years and all that stuff. All the charity drives, all of the giveaways that we've done, all of that, the community nights, the movie nights, and all that stuff that we've done together throughout the years. And every single time I start up my stream, and if I have one of those guys, just one of those guys or whatever that are always there, it just makes my day. I'm just like, all right, let's go, let's have some fun, Yeah. For me, because I'm an alcoholic, it's like, all right, let me get a shot, and stuff like that. Even though I've cooled off on my freaking drinking compared to what I used to do. You were there when I was really bad. But it's my community 100%.
Yeah,
like it's always that, having people coming in and all. I don't ever worry about the numbers. I never worry about the numbers. If I have one person or if I've got 50 people in there, that's only happened once, and that was because stress hosted me and never hosted me again because I was already drunk as hell during that time, and I kind of freaking ruined that opportunity.
Nah.
But freaking, it doesn't matter. As long as one of them is in there, it's like I got one guy that I Savage Boy. He's my customs guy and all that stuff. So like back in the day when I was doing community nights and all that stuff and all, I would sometimes like yell at him a little bit within Discord and be like, hey, why didn't you show up for community night? Come on, you're my customs guy, man. I need you. It's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Because, you know. But at the same time, you know, that's all in love. But when he shows up and he's like, "All right, man, I got some good customs for you tonight," and all that stuff, I'm like, "Yeah, let's go, baby. Let's see what map we're playing on tonight." You know, we're not playing on Spire, are we? You know. And you know, just like little things like that, you know. That's what gets me.
No, that's if this was Family Feud, I'd be saying good answer, and clapping my hands and all that as they're doing that. No, I think that's something. I think honestly, I should probably adapt more mentally. To be honest, just because I don't know. I think I just focus on sometimes as a person, one of my flaws, I can focus on the negatives too much, and I just think mainly about that. And like, I never see like just the bigger picture or just like the little things, so to speak, you could say at times. So it's like I don't know. I think sometimes I just think about the negative things a little too much, and especially when it comes to just me wanting to be super grindy. And sometimes I just want to like look forward to just making sure like I'm okay before I stream, if that makes sense. Like just making sure like okay, if I'm gonna stream right now, like I'm okay, I'm doing good.
And nap helps with that sometimes too. So
yes. So but I know that there's times I mean I think one of the things it's not so much I look forward to, but it's like there's so many times I've turned on stream and like just people that normally don't stop by right away, like stop by like right away, and I'm just like, oh, where'd you come from? Like I look at it's literally like it's like one new face I haven't seen, and like ever like maybe they've lurked for like the past like month. I have no idea. You know what I mean? Like, I never really check my viewer list. I never check that stuff. I just don't check it. But I think something like that definitely just like it like makes me super. And it makes me happy when I see just but it's not so much like obviously it can happen every time. It's kind of not even an expectation, but it's like there's definitely like little things I look forward to, but I never really thought of it like that, to be honest. And I feel like that's also just me just being in my like work mindset, just grind. You know what I mean? I gotta get on, and practice and just play and all that stuff. So I think I have more of kind of like more like like work mindset to it, I guess you can say, as opposed to kind of like a chill, relaxed kind of thing. Which is something I need to work on too, to be honest.
Well, I mean, you got to understand though, with streaming, I mean, with streaming and even and as well, freaking comp gameplay and stuff, you kind of in a way do have to treat it like a job. And I mean, don't be super serious about it. Yeah. But you do have to.
Or don't take it for granted or anything.
Treat it like a job. Like there's certain things you got to do and all that stuff and all.
We are affecting other people at the same time. That's no job is gonna really. It doesn't even matter at that point. You're just actually affecting people's lives at that point.
Right.
At a certain point. So
and all because I mean it's like like you post up on YouTube. You got Twitter. What other social medias do you got?
Instagram also.
Instagram, you post on that?
Yeah. If I do like an unedited clip, I'll post on Instagram also because it's just easier than posting an edited clip on Instagram.
Right.
So I'll post stuff on Instagram too. So like, Twitter's my main thing, to be honest.
But going on all those different social medias and getting your name out there and all that stuff, like you kind of have to treat that as if it's a job and all that stuff. And also freaking streaming. I mean, obviously, have fun with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly,
have fun with it. Because if you're miserable the whole time,
then, it's not gonna work.
You're not gonna make it and all that stuff. But also keep it in the back of your mind that, well, this is basically a job. Like I consider this in a way for me, like my second job, my part-time second job and all that stuff and all. Because I always think about like how do I want to revamp this and that and all. It's like this podcast freaking overlay that I have and all that stuff. I've actually been sitting on this for 9 months before I even started it and all that stuff. I had plans on it way back when. I tried getting Jen and a few others back then to do it. Everybody pretty much said yeah and all. I haven't been able to get Jen on here since I actually started it, but there's been a lot of everybody else that has been able to come on and all. and I talked about it way back when, and I had the overlays and all that stuff and all, and then I just sat on it and all that stuff because I was stretching myself out because I wanted things to be perfect
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all. And now I've got um everything kind of squared away. I've gotten more relaxed about things and all. Bring the overlay out. I've got a bunch of other little things, and like you said, while you're at work or whatever, come up with ideas, or when you wake up from a nap, you come out with
yeah.
a corny skit or something like that.
Yes, sir.
You're always kind of thinking about it, and when you're
Yeah,
thinking about it all the time, it's basically a job.
yeah. But
But
you can
like
also
as long as you're thinking about it in the right way.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, if I think about it too much, I can definitely miss out on that fun time.
Mm-hmm.
That fun side of things. That's something I think that's one of my weaknesses, to be honest, as a streamer, is those fun kind of things. To be honest, that I know people in my community definitely want to see me do or play, and I kind of just I wish it's on Halo or what other things. So that's definitely one of my weaknesses, like 1,000% for sure. That I definitely would like to work
All
on in
right.
the future.
One final question, and this is going to be a
Lay it
little bit
on me.
more of a personal question than all.
Ew, love the personal
Okay.
ones.
All right.
Oh.
You've been playing games as a child and all that stuff. You said you
Mm,
played Halo 1 as a child and all, but you
mm.
played many of other games. What is
Yes, sir.
one of your what's like one, maybe let's say the top 3 of
Ooh.
your favorite childhood games?
Oh man. Um. Okay, I probably put Grand Theft Auto Vice City at number one, maybe. Because I played that game and I was like 10 or 11, and nothing will ever beat playing with my sister on Vice City, not doing the main missions, not even knowing how to even do the main missions, just playing the game, using up, up, down, down, left, right, all those cheat codes, and going on a killing spree while listening to Sister Christian in the background while having the flying vehicle cheat active, and you're just flying in the freaking air like ET or some shit. Like that would probably always just be one of my favorite memories as a child, just because that game was just so freaking. It's
I
opened my eyes to what gaming
I
could
think
be.
I think
But
what is
yeah,
it,
Vice City
two or
had the best
three?
soundtrack too.
What was
It's
it, two or
amazing.
three? That were 2 or 3 or whatever was the one that I liked. I think because it's the one where you could do things with the hookers and then steal your money back and
Oh,
all
I
that
think that's
stuff.
like I may have been. I mean, I don't know. I know the second one wasn't like how it was. Like the second one wasn't a 3D. I think it was just top down. So maybe in the GTA 3 you could do that. I
Yeah,
don't remember though. I don't think I even knew you
I
can do that
think
because I'm just 10 years
because
old. I
that
don't
was
really
the
do
only
anything.
GTA I ever played,
No
and
way. Yeah.
that was the only thing I ever did. That's the only thing I ever
Yeah,
did.
I think in Vice City you could do
I
that for
would
sure. I don't know about the third one.
I would rob, I would steal cars, I would
Yeah.
do all kinds of stupid
Yeah.
shit.
No, Vice City you could. I mean GTA 5, even the latest one, you could freaking just get like a hooker and then do your business and then just blow them up and get your money back. Like it's amazing. It's a great time. But no, Vice City would probably be number one for me. Um, trying to think a lot of games I grind as a kid. I mean, I played Melee, Super Smash Bros. Melee. I played that one a bunch on the GameCube. A bunch. I was never good at it, but I mean, I just played a bunch of it because I want to get all the characters, and you had to do like 2,500 matches to get Mewtwo or some crap, or you do like, or maybe even Mr. What is it, Mr. Gaming Man? No, Mr. I don't remember the
Mr.
guy's
Miyagi,
character.
no, I'm just joking.
No,
I
no, no,
have no
no. I
idea
feel like
what
it
you're
was
talking about.
Mr. Game and Watch, I think, or something. I don't know. So I'd say Melee, I guess, just because I played that a bunch, and then hmm, I played so many different games, but just the ones that stuck out. Maybe like Guitar Hero 3. That was more so like when I was like a teenager when that came out. But like Guitar Hero Rock Band games, I played a bunch as like a teenager. Just because those got me definitely into music, and then the guitar I started getting into, and here I am now, basically.
Right.
So,
I got you. I got you.
it'd
Yeah,
probably be those three: Vice City, Super Smash Bros. Melee, and then probably the Guitar Hero Rock Band games. Just my teenage childhood years for sure. That I played like a bunch.
yeah.
Um,
For me, it was like I'd say probably like the original Killer Instinct
hmm.
slash Street Fighter. Those two are like pretty much equal for me. And then I'd say probably Super Mario 3. Um, and then Mario Go Kart or whatever whatever it is, and all that stuff. That I'd say those games I like. Growing up, or well, you're saying growing up, probably like early tens. I'm thinking teenage years and all that stuff because
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But like my teenage years, going almost graduating from high school and all like those. I think that those things are, well, maybe not that old. Definitely not that old. But maybe 12 or something. But those games I absolutely loved growing up. So
yeah, the Game Boy Advance and PSP I played a bunch actually as a kid. I grew up with those a lot. I used to always play the Game Boy Advance and like Super Mario Bros. And PSP. I'd always just play with like just a bunch of different games. So yeah,
right.
A lot of early childhood memories of that for sure.
All right, guys. All right, so do you have anything for me or anything like that? Because we're pretty much at the end of the podcast.
Nothing much, to be honest. We talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
we
can always talk about more if you want to come back on again.
I know we could. I think nothing right now, to be honest, man. I think we just talked about a bunch of different stuff and got both perspectives pretty well as understanding your side of things.
All right.
How I see things. So
all right. Well, all right, guys. All right, guys. Anferknee streams on Twitch and everything. What's your normal hours?
I guess for now I say maybe like. Well, I started doing a different schedule at work, so I'm literally working bi-weekly. So like 1 week I'm doing like 5 p.m., like 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to like 10 p.m. and then like this week I'm doing like 2 or 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to like 10 or 11. So it's mainly like the afternoon, I would say. Afternoon, that 3, 4, 5 range start time going to like 10 or 11 p.m. all Pacific Standard Time. So right now my work schedule is kind of a little. But come Infinite, though, definitely plan on just trying to do that full time and get a part-time job working a couple days. So when Infinite comes out, I'll definitely be streaming like every day, maybe mornings or something. We'll have to figure it out. It's gonna be an interesting time when Infinite comes out. It's gonna be a crazy time, I'll tell you that much.
I'm telling you, man, I can't wait for freaking Infinite to come out, man. Like I'm hoping like when it comes out, it comes out good. We'll be able to play it and have a good old time, and hopefully you guys grow. And I'll be sitting on the shelf freaking watching you guys enjoying it, all right? But hey, again, anybody and everybody that's in the chat, hey, go follow this man. I dropped this link in the chat if you haven't already and all. Amazing streamer, great personality and all that stuff. I think he is a little too hard on himself sometimes, but hey, who isn't, Yeah. Other than that, let's do our outro and all that stuff, end credits. Again, thank you, Anferknee, for coming, man. I hope we can do this again, man. Hey, and then also one of these days, we need to play together again. And I promise I will not be that drunk. Okay, I promise.
I got you. Calling out and everything.
All right. Later, dude.